Sue Smith sitting in for Joanne. Joanne is off celebrating Orthodox Easter. Have you ever wondered what food astronauts take into space? Well, if you're Canadian, you bring a taste of home. So, on Sundays we talk tech with Chris Abel. And Chris, you had the chance to ask Jeremy Hanson this question a few years ago.
Yeah, amazing chance and opportunity to talk to him about it. I knew this was something that astronauts often had trouble with, that they would try to get something special brought up to space, and NASA would say, you put in your request too late. You
Right.
can't do this 3 months before launch or 6 months before launch. It really is something you have to talk at least a year in advance. So I want to get Jeremy thinking about that well in advance. And so we had a chat a couple of years ago about the potential for him to bring up some space food, which he did. But, let's have a listen to what he and I talked about back then.
Great.
Last couple of astronauts have gone up there, have had the chance to explore or bring up with them different types of food. Mm-hmm. So Tim Peake managed to get a bacon sandwich up on board the International Space Station. I'm wondering, when you get your chance, is there a particular food that you're thinking you would like to take up?
No, I haven't thought that far ahead yet, so I'll have to see, and I'll have to work with the Canadian Space Agency to see what treats I can bring my crew members. But that's just one of those things you do in culture in general. It's common amongst many cultures in the world is to share your cuisine or something from your country, and so I'll definitely be looking for something that will resonate with the crew that I'm assigned with.
Okay, so that's Jeremy Hanson a couple of years ago. Chris, you got him thinking, and what did he finally take?
Right, so the mission, of course, launched. The Artemis crew has done an amazing job, and clearly Jeremy thought it through. He waited for a very special moment in terms of the Artemis crew going behind the moon to the dark side, where they lost all communication. The 4 astronauts are floating in space all by themselves, and that's the moment he decided to break out some very special Canadian treats. Have a listen.
Just trying to do a good job to collect as much science data as we could while we were on the far side of the moon, and we were just giddy in here. He's being a bit humble, but as soon as we went out of comm with Planet Earth, we did have maple cookies. As we just gathered together for about 30 seconds, each one of us had a maple cream cookie and then right back into the science. But we had to take a moment to honor that time going behind the moon and out of touch with Earth, and that was a very surreal moment for this crew.
I really love the timing of that.
Yeah, perfect. And what an excellent choice. I mean, he had time to try to think what food he would bring up. I love that the maple cream cookies would be ideal to bring into space. They've got probably little tiny maple leaves on them. So, and obviously it went over really well with his fellow astronaut.
Well, they're delicious. I always buy them this time of year as well. I'm a little bit stuck that NASA let someone bring up a bacon sandwich, but anyway.
Well, that was a special thing in which he worked with a Michelin star chef to develop bread that didn't have crumbs. Oh. And so these are things that, we don't think of it, and most astronauts don't think that it's that much work that's involved. If I get a chance to talk to Jeremy again, and I can't believe any thought that I might have been involved in making this happen, but I do want to chat with him and say, okay, how tricky was it getting those maple cream cookies into space? Because
they would have crumbs. I was actually thinking that. I was wondering what would happen to the crumbs. They would just float around.
I'm sure there was a lot of work involved. He could probably, sit down and talk for half an hour in terms of the back and forth between him and NASA in terms of how many variations of the maple cream cookies he had to go through just to get these to get up into space. I
love it. And to your point, they actually have the maple leaf on them. So, All right. I want to talk about robot guide dogs, which is something in itself, but these ones go one step further.
They do. So the Binghamton University of New York, they've taken those robot dogs that have been made famous. They look kind of very scary, but they've taken a set and they've tried to convert them into the equivalent of seeing eye dogs. They've got the harness added so a blind person can hold onto the handle and the dog can navigate. Not just to get past obstacles and to go through stairs and things like that a normal dog does, but it's got built-in GPS. So you can actually tell it a very specific location. This is the office or this is the building I want to go to, and the dog will take you there. And they've added an artificial intelligence so that the robot dog can speak. So you can have a conversation with your robot dog in terms of where you're going, or while you're walking, could tell you details about what's happening around you. Now, we have a clip.
Yeah.
And what you're going to hear is a man and a woman speaking. The woman's voice is actually the robot dog.
Okay.
So the dog sounds like a woman. Have a listen.
Want to go to the main conference room?
Yes.
We're passing by the main lobby, which is an open area with seating and information desks.
That is definitely not how I imagine dogs sound.
Yeah, I think they need to develop a doggy kind of voice, don't you? Like, oh, we're coming near the reception area.
Oh, good. Chris, you should audition. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm being a bit facetious because obviously the most important thing is for it to be understood. And I guess, I mean, although they make it look like a dog and kind of act like a dog. So, all right, robot guide dogs.
Development. Yeah.
And pardon, it's in development, yeah. I want to talk about a handheld fan because Dyson is set to launch one. Dyson, of course, usually does things pretty well. And boy, last summer, we all needed fans.
Yeah. Well, this is the big invention coming from Dyson. And I know often Dyson releases their new products around the world. And the question is, like, is it coming to Canada?
Yeah.
And so, yes, they're unveiling a device called the Hush Jet Mini Cool Fan. It's a small cylinder that's palm-sized in your hand that can generate cool blasts of air that's 90 kilometers per hour. Huh. It's got a 6-hour battery life, so this sounds like it's going to be a pretty cool device. And yes, Dyson Canada did reach out to me to let me know that yes, it is coming. It'll be coming in the summer. I don't have a price yet, but as we get closer, I'll give you a review.
And I'm hoping you will try it out, Chris.
I will.
Okay.
We'll have a cool time.
Yo, you do everything for us. It's always great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is Chris Abel. He talks tech with us every Sunday.